The former state leaders in Michigan who helped cover up a massive disease outbreak as part of the Flint water crisis were finally charged, criminally charged, for their actions last week. I have Farron Cousins from the Trial Lawyer magazine with me to talk about it. Wow, this is such an important case. It's first time we've seen this, and I can't even remember when. These people are heroes.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Snyder's charged. All of his henchmen are charged.
Right. And Snyder's charges are a lot more tame than they should be. I mean, they're just getting him for willful neglect. So he's probably going to get fined. I don't know that Snyder himself will see any jail time. But some of these other folks, negligent homicide is a charge that you see throughout these charges popping up quite a bit. And it all stems back to not even the lead poisoning problem, but the Legionnaires outbreak that started, or at least they learned about it, we know now, in October of 2014.
Right.
So we're talking about 6.5 years ago, they knew of this disease outbreak. 12 official deaths. Health experts actually say it's probably closer to about 115 at least.
Yeah, well, the 115, that Legionella causes something that looks like pneumonia. So it's going to be misdiagnosed.
Right.
Probably most of the 115 people diagnosed with pneumonia also died of Legionella. But the worst thing is, they knew exactly what they were doing. There's this flurry. There was this, I don't know if you took a look, there's an incredible flurry of telephone calls between them. Now, The Intercept, again, does a great job on this story. They get all the details, and they said, look at the phone activity between Snyder and all of these henchmen. Now, I think it's really critical when they are charging the henchmen with involuntary manslaughter, because that's something that could play out really with any corporation who does something like this. What's your take?
Absolutely. And back to your point there, too, about The Intercept. Jordan Chariton and Jen Dyes, who wrote this story, Jordan Chariton has been on the Flint issue since day one, and he has been absolutely the best person on it. So,
incredible.
Full credit to him and Jen, who wrote this story. But yeah, the phone calls they documented there. You see these phone calls happening 2 or 3 minutes apiece, throughout the span of a day, and then it happened the next day. These officials, what we now know, they're calling one another about the Legionella. They're trying to keep it under wraps.
Keep it quiet.
They're laying out their plan. They're freaking out behind the scenes. And that's what's happening. And that is what helps seal the deal for these investigators to be able to come up with these charges. They saw they were talking, this person, they played the phone tag, and they all lost.
This MO can be used in any state. It could have been used up in Ohio, where I handled the C8 case. By the way, PFAS, that's the new boogie bear. We know it's killing people. We know it's contaminated in water sources all over the country. Now, what if you are a city official or a county official or in charge of the water facility and you cover up the fact that PFAS is in there when we know it will kill you? I got to tell you something. Government types, they better keep a real close eye on this, because the PFAS story, this is where those folks who are covering up how bad this stuff is, this is where some corporate, some official, government official is going to say, you know what? You lied. You actually engaged in manslaughter.
And this is what we've been waiting for, not just on this issue, but really on any kind of white-collar criminal issue, waiting for the dam to break.
Right.
And that is what this could signify. Look, here's the blueprint. Here's how we did it. You can do the same thing if you have this happening in your city, if it's happening in your state. It's not that hard to go after these people.
A courageous AG like
right.
Dana. Well, actually, there are a couple of AGs right behind each other that both were involved in uncovering this up there. So, wow, important story.